The missing engine. Whiff had been tired and overworked. He had been working on the Fat Controller's railway every day to prove how really useful he is. But he was also glad to be away from his owner that tried to make him do silly things and get him to be scrapped. But Whiff was now a really useful engine. One morning he was at the docks feeling tired when Porter arrived with some tankers and a brake van. "Hello there, matey," said Porter. Feeling down, are you not?" "I am apparently," said Whiff. "I feel like the Fat Controller didn't listen to me since my incident with my private owner who saved me," he said. I sometimes try to tell him about my incidents, but he sometimes just ignores me." "Don't worry," said Porter. "After you've proven yourself, I'm sure he'll listen. Just give it a few times and then finally he'll understand. Besides," said Porter, I'm exhausted. Would you like to take those tankers to the diesel works for me, please?" he said. "I'm very tired." But then Whiff forgot. And then Whiff almost forgot. "Oh yeah," he said. I've heard that the diesels are having a crisis since they've broken down," he said. I'll take him to the diesel works right away." Just then, Stepney puffed into the docks. "There is an emergency at the big station," he told Whiff, and they said you're to take over." Whiff tried to explain, but he couldn't do any of those jobs. But then he made a decision. I'll help at the big station," he said. "Another engine will have to do Porter's work," he said. "Why don't you get an engine who's big enough for Porter's job?" "I will," said Stepney, and I know just the engine," he said, and he puffed cheerfully away. Meanwhile, back at the main line, Hank and Rocky were trying to get Neville back on the rails with the help of some workmen that had come to see what the noise was this morning. The job took a long time. "Hurry up," grumbled Hank. "I'm going to be late for my passenger train," he said, "and my passengers don't like waiting." "Patience, Hank," said Rocky. "We're being as quick as we can," he said. Just then, Stepney finally made it. Whiff has to do some shunting at the big station for me," said Stepney, and I'm asking you to do Porter's work while he has a rest at the docks," he said. "Hank," he asked, can you take Porter's train to the diesel works for me?" But Hank didn't like everybody doing his work, but he knew it was the right thing to do. All right, he said. You and Rocky can help get Neville back on the rails. I'll take those tankers to the diesel works right on time," he said, and he puffed away cheerfully. By the time he arrived at the docks, the weather had changed. Hank was coupled to the tankers that would be needed for the diesel works to give the diesels more oil, and then Hank was talking to Billy, who was waiting for his next train. "Be careful at the far side of the line," chuckled Billy. "The ghost engine of Brad might hunt you down." "Shut up," snapped Hank. "I'm not afraid of any ghosts," he said, refusing to admit he was. Just then, he was coupled to the tankers, and he puffed away to go to the diesel works where all the diesels work. Soon, they came to a hill, and his driver and fireman knew they were in for a difficult time. the fog was everywhere, and Hank couldn't see a thing. "I can't see a thing from that damn fog," he complained. "I wish I never assigned for this task." I know you don't want to go," said his driver, "but there's nothing we can do. The sooner we're quick, the better we can go." Soon Hank reached the drawbridge, and by the time he stopped, he could hear some loud noises. "Who's there?" he shouted, but no one replied. The two noises were getting louder and louder. Hank was scared, but he remained stubborn. "Who are you?" he shouted. "Mr. Ghost Engine? Mr. Ghost Engine? Show yourself!" But the two diesels remained quiet and quickly set to work. The next morning, Thomas was racing down on his drive-line as usual. He began to have a lovely day. "This is perfect," he said, as he went through the drawbridge and stopped, and saw that an unfamiliar brake van was left on the line. "Now I wonder what that's doing on the line," he thought. "Driver," he asked, "why don't you couple this brake van at the front and then I can take it? I bet it's come from the docks," he guessed. Soon Thomas's driver occasionally coupled Thomas to the front of the brake van, and he puffed away, shunting it as well as pulling Annie and Clarabelle. Then he arrived at the docks where Whiff and Porter were waiting for Hank. "Hello," said Thomas. "I just brought this brake van in. Do any of you know where that come from?" Then Porter looked at the familiar brake van. "Wait a second," he said. "That's the brake van that came with the tankers that were supposed to fill the diesels up with," he said. "And where is Hank?" he said. "He's gone missing with them." "I better go tell the Fat Controller," said Whiff. "I think he's gone missing with them," he said. But then Whiff puffed away, and so did Porter. "We better find out where Hank is, or else," said Porter worriedly, and then he was on his way to tell the Fat Controller. But the Fat Controller was already having a meeting with Duck. "But the yards won't be the same without Ryan," she said. "And where was it you was thinking of sending him to?" "I don't know," said the Fat Controller. Since I can't keep Whiff or Ryan in my railway," he said, "it is my choice to make up my mind which will be kept in my railway or sent away," he said. Just then Whiff had overheard, and then he spoke out. "Sir," he said, "Not now, Whiff," said the Fat Controller. Just then Porter bustled in. "Sir," he said, "Hank and the tankers he was supposed to take to the diesel works have gone missing, except for his brake van. I don't know what's been happening, but we might have to go to the diesel works and see to it." "Maybe we should," said the Fat Controller. "And Whiff," he said to Whiff, "is there anything you want to say to me?" No," said Whiff, and he puffed shyly away. Goodbye, Duck," said the Fat Controller. We can talk about this later. For now I need to go to the diesel works." "Take me there, please, Porter," said the Fat Controller, and he climbed aboard Porter, and they both continued on with their journey to the diesel works.